different aspects of the economy, especially those that are currently dwindling. And for today, we have 4 different political parties represented on set, as we shall be coming back to introduce them to you. Welcome back. My name is Hyson Cha, and this is the very first edition of Electoral. Like I was indicating, a program that we shall be running both in the English and the French language. Today we begin the program in English, and we have, like I said, 4 gentlemen in the studio, of course, coming here to sell the vision and the political programs of their respective candidates as they are vying to grab the seat, the top seat of the country on October 12, 2025, where I have Mr. Ayuk James. Mr. Ayuk James is from the Cameroon's Party for National Reconciliation, the PCRN, with the flag bearer as Cabral Libil. Mr. James, you're welcome.
Good evening to my co-panelists. Good evening to all the Republicans, the Socialists, and the Liberals who are all with us here. Please, I want you, please just permit me to tell Cameroonians that we have done our part. Okay. Make sure we are, our party is represented all the 33,000 polling stations.
Okay.
So I'm calling on them. Firstly, let them go and collect their card, their voter's card.
Okay.
Let them do that.
Okay.
And that day, let them go and vote. What we want is for the 8 million Cameroonians to come out that day and vote. We have done. At the end of the day, good evening again once more. And
he is from the SDC, who doubles as the chairman of the party. Lionel, you're welcome.
Good evening, Aysen. Good evening to all my co-panelists. Good evening to just be on your panel. Once more, we want to thank all Cameroonians and well-wishers who are there fighting for change on a daily basis, and we are very enlightened to what has already been done. I want to use this opportunity to thank the population of Bamenda and its environs for receiving our national chairman and the flag bearer of the SDF today. It was a very grand rally that was held at the Commercial Avenue in Bamenda. Yep. And I think in this spirit, if we go in this same spirit, we will be capable to enroute the regime of 1982 from A to D.
Okay, thank you so much. I have Mr. Ndange Josh. He is one of the spokesperson for candidate Akere Muna, and he is here with us this evening to blow the trumpet of what Akere Muna has to offer. Josh, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Kiahatsin. Good evening to all fellow co-panelists here present. Good evening to all the viewers of Canal International. Special greetings to our militants and sympathizers in Tico. It's really a pleasure. We've seen what they've done today as far as galvanizing the population to welcome our presidential candidate, Barrister Akere Muna, hopefully, gradually but surely, toward the new republic.
Thank you so much. And the last but not the least, like I said, we are introducing them in no particular order. I have Blake Nsangu Yakubu. He is one of those who communicate for the ruling party, defending the incumbent president, who is also on the race again to consolidate his stay at A2D.
Good evening, Mr. Hyson. Good evening to all the viewers of Canal International, and special kudos to all the militants and sympathizers, all the members of our campaign commissions who came out throughout the 10 regions. You saw simultaneously we launched our campaigns in the 10 regions with gigantic meetings, and I would like here to seize the occasion and give kudos to especially the youths who came out with the what we told them during the campaign, during the pre-campaign, they came out with their voters card, because you know it is not about rallying, seeing people. No, we really emphasize in our education that all those who came to our meetings today were holding their voters card, and that is what we are also inviting all those who are still leaving their cards at the lake camp to go and withdraw them, so that we should be sure that none of our voters will stay at home during the voting. That is why I would like to really give kudos, special kudos to all our militants who came out. And immediately, as from tomorrow and Monday, you will see how in all the 360 subdivisions of Cameroon, you will see how our party is strategizing, and you will see what will come out.
Let me just begin with you. When you talk of what picture do you paint as of the campaign of today, as you launch with your party? Yes,
what I will say is it's a satisfaction, because we saw what happened in Bafsam, we saw what happened in Boya, Bongo Square, with the Prime Minister. We saw what happened even here in Yaoundé, and it shows that, contrary to what other people are saying, the population, the Cameroonians in their huge majority, are standing firm behind the President of the Republic, behind the candidate of the Cyprian President, Paul Biya. And that is why they came out today in their numbers in order to reaffirm their support, in order to make sure that at the evening of the 12th of October, they came out with their voters' card, to tell Cameroonians that we are don't only see the population, but all those who are behind, all those who are present at our meetings of our candidate Paul Biya should be undeniable.
Okay, Josh, we equally saw a Keremuna launch campaign at Tiku. How was it? Apart from that, did you have some other activities today, maybe in other parts of the country?
Well, I will start with the launching of our campaign proper today in Tiku. It was a tremendous success. Okay. Knowing fully well that Southwest region is plagued with the Anglophone crisis, the difficulties with the separatists who will stop at nothing to destabilize any political party that comes there to campaign. But today, Bâtonnier Akere Muna have proven his worth, that he is that unifier. He is the people's choice, and he is there to change this nation. Just to add that it's not only about the activity of TICO, us from the UFR, we have been working and we are preparing. We will hearken to the call of the masses very soon to give them that consensual candidate that they have been clamoring for. As I earlier said, any opposition candidate that will go in for this presidential election as a single candidate is selfish.
Today in Bamenda, you were one of the very first political parties that I saw that dish out the different campaign agenda. Yeah, so how was it today?
Heisen, throughout the 10 regions, the various campaign team leaders mobilized militants and they launched their campaign activities. But the main campaign launching activity was that of the chairman, our flag bearer in Bamenda at Commercial Avenue, which went on very well, successfully. Yeah. That's why you saw me thanking the population of Bamenda for that warm welcome that was reserved for him. I just want to let all our viewers understand that the Social Democratic Front has one and only adversary, which is CPDM and Mr. Biya. If any other political party who says, or any other candidate who says he's from the opposition, has as target any other opposition party, I think the population are getting the message very well. Okay. I think the population are understanding what it means. You know, the SDF is a machine, and as I earlier said, we have been planning this presidential election since the eve or after 2018, because after 2018 we had a meeting, an evaluation meeting, which we used the SWOT, and we had to come out with our strength, our weakness, our forces, and all the lapses that we had, and that permit us to start preparing immediately in 2018. Now we came up to 2025, which is the D date, and we cannot be working for 7 years, and people come from nowhere 3 months before election, and they start distracting us. What we know is that all those who are coming up with this distraction want to help Mr. Biya and the regime of 1982 to stay in power. It's very clear. When I say it's very clear, you can see it along the line. When you come up 2, 3 months, 4 months before election, you declare that if there is no consensual candidate, it means opposition is not leading. You try to bring the population to think that only a consensual candidate can win against Mr. Biya. But no, what we are telling Cameroonians, you are the people, you are the power, you have the power, and you are the ones to decide. So not individuals who are selfish and greedy, who think only about their own personal interests, will help you choose who is your president. Look at the programs that are being submitted to you as Cameroonians, as voters, and see who is proposing the best program to rescue you from the hands of the regime of 1982. And see, Cameroonians need to understand is that you cannot have an adversary who is the one telling you what are the strategies to use to win him. CPDM are the ones even clamoring everywhere, announcing everywhere that you see, we are asking those people to look for a consensual candidate that are unable. You see, what do you think that CPDM will be happy for the opposition to have a consensual candidate? But because they know that by saying this will distract Cameroonians from the real business, which is to make sure that we rescue Cameroonians from the hands of this.
How was day one of the campaign?
Well, day one, as usual, we are used to receiving blows from those who know that we have to replace them. So it's very
blows, what do you mean?
But for past 7 years, what we have been going through.
Okay.
We receive blows from those. They know that, since they know that we have to replace them. So we just receive their blows, and we just make sure we strike the right point. That's our strategy. We don't fight with them. We know that they are crying because they have to go. Now is the time they have to go.
So concretely, yes, what did you do today?
Today, normally we did not do anything very great today, but tomorrow, yes, there's a meeting tomorrow in Douala. Start tomorrow in Douala. When it will be 2 p.m.
Okay. Start
Betwala. I don't master Douala very well like I only, but behind start Bepanda, people, everybody should go there. So meet the national president there. That's a launching, official launching there in Douala tomorrow. So tomorrow is a D-Day.
Okay.
Yes, so we are calling on all Cameroonians from east to west, north to south. Should be there tomorrow.
Thank you so very much. Before we dive into some of what you guys are offering, your different candidates have put up different slogans that they are using to get into this election. For example, Mr. Paul Biya, he says it's a matter of greatness and hope, continuity and stability. Can you edify Cameroonians on what this slogan is trying to portray?
Yes, what this slogan is putting ahead is all what has been put in place since the last mandate. That is to make sure there is peace and stability. Continue to consolidate what has been put in place already, residential, regional, and etc. We are talking about hope, greatness. It is that following and consolidating the path of our country to consolidate our democracy. Talking about accelerating the march of our party, of our country to of universities. We are seeing how we are improving. Even the quality of our education is, when you read memorials of our candidate, you come to understand that it is one of the best programs, one of the realistic programs. That is why you see Cameroonians following them, because every people will come and then be telling stories about what cannot be done, what cannot be done, what cannot be done, and what is not really possible.
Okay.
That is why at this time in point we are inviting Cameroonians to thank God they are not naive, because 3 months, 4 months to election, people will erupt from nowhere and then start telling stories and then confusing Cameroonians, but they don't change the winning team. That is why the President of the Republic is giving what is possible, telling Cameroonians what is possible, and telling Cameroonians what is impossible.
Okay. George, Akere Muna is preaching ethics and renewal.
And
ethics,
the slogan,
yes,
toward the new republic.
Yes.
Yes.
So, what is the content of that slogan?
Yes, when you talk of renewal, you see so many things have gone wrong in this country since 1984, when the name of this country was unilaterally changed by an individual without consulting Cameroonians. The reason why it has led to Anglophone crisis today. When we talk of renewal, we talking of going back to the federal system of government, where Cameroonians will be able to harness their resources, where Cameroonians will be able to vote their governors that will rule in their various regions, where Cameroonians will be free from the bondage, from the shackles of poverty planted in place by this regime that have vehemently refused the call for federalism, which was the basis in which the relationship between the Anglophone Cameroon and the Francophone Cameroon was built. That said and done, I'm hearing people talking of 3 months, people who have just come for 3 months in place and they are making noise. Bâtonnier Akere Muna has been fighting corruption for over 30 years. He is Mr. Clean, man of integrity. Look the record of Bâtonnier Akere Muna. He has never involved with this regime in one way or the other, because he stands for the truth. He has come to fight for corruption. To fight against corruption that he has been advocating against things. So that Cameroonians who merit their position in higher institutions in this country, who merit their position in big offices in this country, will be able to enjoy that meritocracy. When we talk of renewal, before 1982, Cameroonians had good salaries and the currency of this country was valuable, not like today that we are suffering from inflation and high level of poverty. But Mr. Akere Muna asked Cameroonians only for 5 years transitional period, and the first thing he is to do in office, the Glencoe case that you know, he promised Cameroonians, if he is voted as president of this nation, he will bring in the sum of 800 billion francs CFA. How will this money be allocated to help the masses in this country? Each division of this country, each subdivision or each municipality will be given the sum of 1 billion to be able to manage their resources. Okay, George. We were also going to make sure that our constitution that have given total authority to the head of state should be revised, and those powers should be curtailed, so that the problems we are facing for over 43 years should not repeat itself. Okay,
we shall get into more details. Lionel, when I look at what is brandished by Joshua Aussi, Joshua Aussi wants to rescue Cameroon. Good. Is Cameroon drowning?
You know, you are a journalist. When you look at your domain, and this question goes to all your colleague journalists that are out there and all those who are monitoring. Cameroon is drowning, and we need to rescue Cameroon. Rescue Cameroon from bondage. Rescue Cameroon from the hands of this government that has been dilapidating our natural resources since 1982. Rescue Cameroon from a government that does not prone meritocracy. Rescue Cameroon from the hands of people who don't care about the well-being of citizens that have given them that confidence for them to be there. Rescue Cameroon from the hands of people who are unable to manage on daily basis our nation. Rescue Cameroon now to portray the image and the image of our country at the international scene. Rescue Cameroon to bring in sovereignty to our country. Rescue Cameroon to make sure that each and every Cameroonian either identify himself as a citizen in any domain where he is. Rescue Cameroon in order to make sure that people participate in the development of the country. Rescue Cameroon in order to make sure that we participate democratically in all elections and all the procedures of development of our country. So, this said, I think it was well thought after going around Cameroon twice, because the chairman, which is the flag bearer, went around Cameroon twice in the last 3 years.
Okay.
And this was to meet people in all walks of life, bike riders, chiefs, even authorities, to know what is going on, what are the needs, and what are the urgent needs of Cameroonians. And when we talk of rescue, it's because of how deep the problems that Cameroonians have has been. And that's why we are talking of rescuing Cameroon. Okay. And rescuing Cameroon will permit Cameroonians to understand that they belong to a nation and they will participate for the development of that nation.
Okay, James Cabral-Libil has preached rupture and reconciliation through the youths. Tell us more.
You know, when he talks about rupture, it's first of all the people's mentality. Change must start from our mentality. The way we perceive life, from which angle, and we must give a sense to everything we want to do. Yes, we must give a sense. That's why it's always, there's another slogan that says, succeed together. We think that this country, the society has been deeply fragmented, and we need people to come together. All the actors and the entrepreneurs, the social, economic, cultural entrepreneurs and the actors, civil society, the men of the clergy, the opinion leaders, they must come together. We work together so that we succeed together. That's the meaning of coming together. Okay. Yes. So that's when we talk about community federalism. Yes, to bring the people, because after the study, after the field study, we discovered that our society is deeply fragmented. So we need to bring the people, and who are the people we have to bring together? The social entrepreneur, as I told you, the social entrepreneur, the economic entrepreneur, the cultural entrepreneur, bring them together so that we take the country forward. Okay. Because there's no individual or group of people at this stage that can take this country from where the country is down. We need to take the country forward. Okay. So that's the main problem we have when it comes to the doctrine. Yes, that's what we are preaching to Cameroonians. Okay. That we have to change. Cameroonians should be here from that moral, mental, spiritual and intellectual and political servitude. Yes, so we need to, we just say, in my philosophy, I always say we need to be born again. We need to be born again. Okay. We need to renew our intelligence. This time, the context in which we are now, we need to be born again. To renew our intelligence, try to think out of the box, not to remain where we are, that blame game. This is not the time for blame game. This is the time we need to think out of the box. If we want something new, we need people that are ready to sacrifice.
Okay.
We don't need too much technique or too much strategy, but we need people, men and women of good faith, who are ready to sacrifice for any country. All around the world, any country you go now, every country you go or you visit, every country that has succeeded, they always tell that they had men and women who had to sacrifice for the country to become what they dreamt of.
Okay.
So,
before we shall get into concretely what you guys or your candidates intend to offer Cameroon within this 7 years mandate, Yakubu, let me begin with you. When you look at Cameroon, what picture do you paint of the socio-economic situation of the country?
Yes, Mr. Hudson, thank you for that very important question. What will have out the, let's say, the 7-year mandate that is finishing, Cameroon as the entire war. Yes, because on the matter of Cameroon has had there has been a lot of international impacts, international, how will I call them, conflicts and other elements that influence the economy of Cameroon. That is why at a certain time we first had, at the beginning of the mandate, the COVID-19 pandemic, because in 2018, when the President of the Republic was re-elected for this septenate, immediately 2019, we had the COVID-19 pandemic. Who came in was something unpredicted, and then shattered the whole economy, uncharted a lot of things. But thank God, thanks to the vision, thanks to the way the head of state managed things, that is how Cameroon could come out, and it was even congratulated by international organizations like the World Bank, like the International Monetary Fund, and etc. Secondly, after the COVID-19 pandemic that came out with unpredicted, unfortunate events in our economy, we had other events which came in, like the changing of the fuel prices due to the Ukrainian and Russian war, which really influenced the prices of fuel in the international market, which came in. We even had the unfortunate event that happened at Sonara. You saw, but thanks to the vision of the head of state, our economy stepped on and kept on being resilient.
So you're saying that at the moment we're in a good footing? And
at the moment we have stabilized the President of the Republic. Thanks to his vision, we have stabilized our economy, and we are even ahead. That is why in the whole of Central Africa, our economy is one of the best, stabilized, and then we are pursuing our move towards our emergence. That is why when we look at when we compare Cameroon to other countries which have the same realities with Cameroon, because we should not be comparing Cameroon with countries like Canada, with countries like US. We should compare Cameroon with countries which has the same realities like Cameroon, which has the same history, to know that Cameroon is far ahead many other countries in the infrastructural domains, in the educational domain, and even at the level of sport. Because the sport and artistic domain is also a domain that has not should not be neglected. Let me take the example of the educational domain. When we look at the quality of education, the quality of training that we have in our nation, and we see the way European countries are scrambling for products who are being trained in Cameroon. Go to Canada, go to Germany, go to all these European countries, they are scrambling for Cameroonians, medical doctors, they are scrambling for Cameroonian teachers. It means that at the time you are being trained in a medical school in Cameroon, you can be integrated, you can migrate and integrate yourself in any other developed country in the world, meaning that in terms of training, in terms of vocational training, our country has moved ahead, and our products are being demanded, highly demanded abroad. And that is something thanks to the vision of the head of state.
And now when you see most of our authorities still going abroad for medical care,
yes,
is that not contradicting?
No, it is not contradictory, because saying that we have improved does not mean that, yes, that we should be honest that the technical platform we have in the US, for example, or that we have in France, that we have in Great Britain, we cannot compare that with the one of Cameroon. We have referral hospitals that has been consulted, I think in the 10 regions. It means that we have moved, saying that we have improved means that we have moved from point 1 to point B, or from point A to point B, but it is not, we are still evolving.
We are not where we used to be.
We are not where we used to be. That is it. We are still moving towards what more economically developed countries are having today. We are progressively moving to that point.
Okay. Josh, I first of all want us to paint a picture, because the three of you are preaching change, which means that you've seen that maybe we are not where we are supposed to be. So what picture do you paint of the socio-economic situation of Cameroon?
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Cliquez, for this great question. This question will really help Cameroonians to know where we belong today as far as socio-economic development is concerned. I'll first of all start with the social aspect. We have the Anglophone crisis that have been plaguing the nation since 2016. Because of this crisis, majority of Cameroonians have been displaced, especially those from the northwest and southwest region of this country. Many properties have been destroyed in that area. We've lost human beings, and the regime in place came with a monologue in the name of national dialogue that have not helped in solving the problem. The situation is still there, and people are suffering. Apart from the Anglophone crisis, let us talk about the prices of basic commodities in our country that keep on increasing at a geometric rate, making things hard for the common man. Let us talk about tap water. People who cannot afford bottled water, the majority are suffering of cholera and other type of sicknesses like typhoid because of poor sources of potable water in our country. Look at the nature of road, especially in Yaoundé. We can't move freely. There is potholes everywhere. We don't have road. We are in the capital city. I want to just mention capital city so that people should think about other areas if we're in the capital city and we don't have road. Garbage is everywhere. Yaoundé, now that is a capital city, has become a dustbin. Reason being that the Zakam, that is a company in charge of cleanliness in Cameroon, have issues of payment with the regime in place that have failed to respect the contract the way it's supposed to be. Let us talk about the educational sector in our country. The educational sector today in Cameroon has become a business platform where you see children from the nursery, children in class 1, carrying more than 15 textbooks and 15 exercise books to classes on daily basis. Whereas in our days, we were not used to that. This is because the regime in place, they keep approving textbooks of no use in classrooms, making it difficult for our children. You see a child carrying a bag as if he's going for military training. Talking about infrastructure in terms of education, majority of our children, they don't have schools. When you look the case in the north, the Grand North in general, majority of public schools, not private schools, attached schools, when there is sunshine or rainfall, children are unable to study. You see bridges leading to school, risky for children to go to school. I don't want to talk about education in the side of Northwest and Southwest because that one is the worst case. Let us talk about the system of education. We're in a country where vocational training in the system of education is not encouraged. ICT education is not encouraged. Entrepreneurship in our educational sector today in Cameroon is not encouraged. The reason why you see that when you leave Cameroon and you go out of the country, as my co-panelist here said, that we have people working in the country, out of the country. No. When they go out of the country, they are going because things are hard in this country. They are going to seek for greener pasture. When they are seeking greener pasture, when you reach there, you have to go back to school, being trained before you can enter a particular office to work. It's quite appalling that our education is not up to standard. We have to be frank with our people who are watching us this evening. When we talk about education, education, at times I have tears in my eyes. I ask myself, you go to school, it's all about theory. Those in the technical education, they don't even have the materials, the didactic materials to carry on their work properly. The health sector is a mess. Can you imagine that there are places in this country where there are no health centers? Let me take the example of Frako. Let me take the example of Akweja in Donga Mantung. Let me take the example of Mwa, which is a subdivision. Go to Mwa subdivision, you don't see a health center. Let me be frank with you. Since 2016 to today, it's pharmacy. It's not health centers. It's pharmacies. Some mini pharmacies, not a well-equipped pharmacies. When a lady wants to give birth, they carry the lady on a stretcher and take some kilometers before reaching hospital. We don't even have enough medical personnel to even attend to us in the hospital. Today, even when you go to some hospital like Central Hospital here and other hospitals, if you don't have a dime in your pocket, they will not even attend to you first. You must have money before they can attend to you. You must have some connection. Okay. And to worsen the situation, the people in the health sector who are supposed to guarantee good health for Cameroonians are the ones seeking medical evacuation abroad, medical solution abroad. You see, that's why us from UFR, we have talked of bringing in a system in which there will be transparency.
We'll get to that.
Because all this is a result of corruption and embezzlement.
We'll get to that very soon. Before I get to Lionel, I just want to correct something. Maybe getting to the hospital, you need to have money, but connection, I think that is not very necessary. If you have your money, you get to any hospital you want to get to and get treated. George is painting a very black picture. Of
course, you know, when for 43 years and things are worse than when you took power, it means there's a problem. When you look at the situation of Cameroon before 1982, of which Mr. Biya, who is president today, was part of that government, things were going on very well. How many public institutions that existed before he took power have been closed down? How many? More than 80 public institutions have been closed down after he took power. Why have these public institutions been closed down? Because of mismanagement and poor management. The other things that people have to understand is that this regime has been unable to satisfy the basic needs of Cameroonians. When I talk of the basic needs, you go directly to things that we touch: education, health, access to information, access to transportation networks. All those things are things that have been highlighted in the programs that the Social Democratic Front is carrying. And solutions have also been proposed for that to be done. What we want people to understand is that it is not possible for somebody to have not been able to handle issues concerning you for 43 years, for them to promise that in 7 years they will do miracles. It is not possible. One thing that they have to know is that the economy of this country is crippling because those who are in charge of implementing projects are concentrated on running budgets and mismanagement. They don't concentrate on implementing the projects. When you look at most of the huge projects, I will take one which has been almost for 10 years existing, and you only understand how much has been spent there, the Douala-Yaoundé Highway. That's a very good example that people must understand. And when you look at the number of kilometers that has been done and the money that has been spent, you can agree with me that those are the things. We have the ring road that has been promised to the people of the Northwest for years, which today nothing has been done. We have the
You say nothing has been done?
Nothing.
Are you saying that it's not completed or nothing has been done?
When I say nothing has been done, according to the time when promise was done and the time that the project has to be executed, they should not wait for the eve of election and they start to do things that will not last for long. They talked about the deep sea port in Kribi, in Limbe, but unfortunately, things are not moving that way. I heard my brother here saying that petrol, the price of petrol raised because there is war in Ukraine and everywhere. My brother, look at Cameroonians and tell them, how come a country that produces petrol be affected for the price of petrol because another country is in war? How come a country that produces petrol be affected because its refinery, the only refinery that exists for more than 60 years, that before the person that is in power, he did not even think of an alternative, got burned down? How come? Do you really think we should be a country, Cameroon should be that country that will be relying on countries like Ukraine for its petrol price? After 43 years of Mr. Biya in power, we still have to tap our petrol and go and refine abroad before bringing back. Why? You said the economy of Cameroon has drastically dropped because of the international issues, crises and conflicts. No, sir. We have natural resources. The only thing I want to tell Cameroonians is that we have dropped because we produce nothing. We import everything, right up to toothpick. Do you know what we call toothpick? You cut trees down here in the east, south, and everywhere in Cameroon, export it, and you re-import it by toothpick. You told us that the educational system here is very good in such a way that we have good engineers. So these engineers are unable to transform our natural resources in Cameroon. They can only do that elsewhere. How come a country like Cameroon, with all what we have, iron, uranium, petrol, wood, gold, we are unable to develop our country? Do you know Cameroon is one of the most indebted country in the world? Why? Because we borrow money for our daily survival. We don't borrow money to invest in production. And when you borrow money not to invest in production, be rest assured that money you will not be able to reimburse it. And when you are not able to reimburse, other people can only try to see how to borrow you money. Okay. The SDF, the Social Democratic Front, has highlighted some of these issues since 35 years. And we think Cameroonians are mature enough. After 35 years of multipartyism, after 35 years of the so-called democracy that is disguised, we think that most Cameroonians are now conscious of what we have been telling them since these years. Okay. And we can assure them that if they give us that confidence on the 12th of October, they will not be deceived.
James, they have highlighted a number of issues as to why they think that our economy, socio-economy is dwindling. Do you share the view, or is there something you need to add before we get into concretely what are you proposing?
Well, let me just, Mr. Ise, I want to paint a general picture.
Yes.
The socio-economic, political, and cultural, yes. Let me start with politics, because politics is a stereotype of the society. Of course. This excessive, centralized system, bureaucratic system, it cannot work. It cannot adapt to this changing that we need to decentralize. We need decentralization. We need to decentralize. We need local, effective local government that will be managed by the mayor and the regional councillors. They need to be, we need autonomous community, federal communities in Cameroon. so that we transfer some political decision to them.
Okay.
You know, economy, as you are saying, you have small, medium, and formal economic system. If, like in Cameroon, 95% of our economy is purely informal. And when a country lives for so many years that in informal sector, you cannot carry out massive employment. You cannot carry out massive employment. It's only the state that becomes the only unique employee. So it's not possible. So that's what we are proposing, that we need, economically, we need to train Cameroonians. Because let me just seize the opportunity and talk about school, because he said they mentioned about school training. Let me tell you, school training, we need to train our local genius and train technician and genius. You cannot give the same training you give to a technician, that's not the same training you give to a genius, because the genius those are the people who they have the capacity to create, to invent, to innovate, to carry out innovation, and the government is there to develop. The government is the developer. So if we don't change the educational system, we continue to train genius the same like technician, there's no way we'll go.
I was about to ask you that. Let's begin with education, which three of you have highlighted that it is a problem. There is a problem with the educational system, contrary to what Yakubu said. Now, what is the PCRN and Cabral proposing if given the mandate on October 12 on education?
Good. We'll diversify, first of all, diversify the educational system. You have professional, vocational, and technical, and general. It will start from the secondary. So primary school will be obligatory for everybody, and it will be free. Not only those students, those people from primary school.
Is that different from what we have now?
No, it's different.
Okay, maybe concretely explain more so that Cameroonians should understand.
Every child, every child. Because we need to put in place a very effective social system, social protection system.
Okay.
Yes. For the school, primary school people, every child at the beginning of every school year, you have 10,000 francs that will help you to reduce the pressure from their parents, from the salary of their parents. 10,000.
10,000 francs coming from the government.
The government, it's the government that will give.
After granting free education at the level of the nursery and primary schools, if I got you well.
Yes.
Okay.
That's free. Secondary, when they get to the secondary level, everybody will follow your track according to your genius. There will be no general system of education that they will teach you history, they go and teach a technician history, they come teach a technician geography, they come and teach a literature student geography. No. No, we have specialized school and specialized curricula that will adapt to each and every Cameroonian.
Okay. Before I come back this way, let me are you done? Or there's something you still need to add?
Yes. That's just the beginning, that's just an introduction.
Yes, on education.
Just on education.
Yes.
So you see the technical, as I just earlier said, that you have the technical student, they will not have the same education like those who are able to create and invent.
Okay.
Yes, they will not have, and those who go in for general education, they will also be very useful, because let me tell you, every film, as you are here in this enterprise, you have those who write scripts.
Of course.
I think yes, they are all technicians. They write scripts. You have those who are behind camera. Everybody has his own role. So that's how training will be based on that.
Okay.
Yes, you have specialized training.
Okay.
Yes, to each and everyone that adapts to your capacity.
Okay.
Because yes.
We are retaining that the PACRN will run an educational system where every child from the nursery
to primary, free education, first of all, free
education,
and then you obtain 10,000 to begin their school year, every school year.
Okay.
Then secondary, they will have 25,000 every school year.
Okay.
Every school year, at the beginning of every school year.
And the education will be free as well?
Every school year, the secondary education is free.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, you intend to implement a free secondary education?
Primary education, government secondary school.
Of course, we're talking about
government
secondary school. Okay.
I mean government secondary school.
Okay.
As we call them, government secondary school, not private school.
What about state universities?
State universities, it will depend.
Okay.
It will depend
on
what you want to, the field you want to pursue.
Okay.
Yes, it will depend on the field you want to pursue, because so many of those professional training here in Cameroon we have. Let me just say, if you want to equip a lab, you know what it takes to equip a lab.
Sure.
Yes, so it will depend on what you want to read in university. Yes.
Okay. All right, we have just listened to the PCR, and let's take a listen to what the SDF is proposing as far as rescuing the educational system, which is within what they say they want to rescue Cameroon. Lionel, what is the SDF proposing concretely in line with education?
Thank you, Hassan. I think the first thing we have to do, first and foremost, is to do what we call the État général of education in Cameroon. There are a lot of issues that we have to handle for the system to be on the rail. One of the things is to make sure that we valorize the situation of the teachers, both in the public and private. We make sure that the subventions that are meant for promoters of private institutions should be more consistent in order to enable them to handle their teachers well. We have to think of how to reform the curricula that are being taught in our various schools. We will subtract these books that children carry along, as my brother was saying, and make sure that everything is standardized.
Are you taking us to an onboard class 1? That
not onboard. Okay. Why don't you think of the new communication technology that is more modern than the onboard? So we are thinking of how to make children more digital and education more digital. We of the SDF are proposing as well that as we take power, we will make sure that no school is created without infrastructures being constructed. Because when you look at the situation in Cameroon, schools are being created in Yaoundé with no infrastructures and no teachers. What they have there are either the principals or the head teachers at the helm of the schools, and the parents are the ones trying and managing with the part-time teachers, which is not normal. Most often, you go to public schools and you will see children pay exorbitant amounts of money called PTA because they don't have infrastructures. Other things to be done is that we are asking, we will make sure that all the teachers are trained and are trained according to the standards that the international level demands now. That these teachers will not only be trained, when they are trained, they are employed. Because when you look at grade 1 teachers, for instance, today, tens of thousands of these teachers are parading our streets. Some are doing call box, some are on bikes, whereas they went through this training
to come and teach.
And you have schools that don't have teachers. You see the paradox with the regime in place. They are unable to even assess the needs that they have. So during this État général, the revalorization of the status of teachers, making sure that education, nursery and primary education is free. I say it very well. Nursery and primary education is free because the state or the CPDM in place today tells you that it's free. We used to pay 1,500 when I was in primary school, and that was registration and even PTA. Now that they say it's free, children are paying up to 10,000 francs in primary school. Those are things that will stop.
Okay.
The other thing that will be made known is to professionalize our educational system. Train children for them to leave school and create job, and not leave school and go and be waiting for the government to employ them. This will also help boost and promote our economy.
Okay. Josh?
Yes, as far as education is concerned, the first step is the infrastructure.
Okay.
When you look at the majority of our public schools today, government schools today in this country, they lack infrastructures. As I earlier said, that you see our pupils studying in touch schools, making the comprehensive level of knowledge very difficult. We will make sure that good infrastructure, good schools are constructed to enable our pupils to be comfortable in their classrooms. That is the first aspect. Second aspect, nursery and primary education will be free. There will be nothing like PTA, because we have realized that PTA is a scam. We don't want to hear that there will be PTA. Okay. Any teacher that will collect any money from any parent in the form of PTA will be accountable for. That is another one. The third aspect, teachers who are teaching our pupils and students, we will have to see into their salaries. Their salaries are supposed to be increased. Teachers cannot go to classrooms and teach with empty stomach. Okay. They will not transmit the right knowledge to our children. Talking about the conditions in which private schools are being created will be revisited, okay, and put laws suitable for the proprietors of private institutions and teachers of private institutions. There will be a minimum salary fixed for private education, so that teachers of the private sector will not be exploited, as the case is today in our country. The educational system, as my brother earlier said, will be professionalized. You see, when a child in Cameroon is teaching who discovered River Niger, how many regions are in Cameroon? A child that is studying in primary school in China is busy learning how to fix a bicycle. Are you saying
that children in the primary school should not know the number of regions in Cameroon?
No, I'm saying this. What I'm trying to say is this, right? We should put more emphasis. We lack the expert. We lack people who can invent, who can create. Today in this country, when we look at the majority of us, you have maybe master's degree, doctorate degree. For example, we have majority of doctorate degrees who are looking for job. A PhD holder should be a job creator, not a job seeker. Those are the type of things that education should be digitalized. Education will be digitalized. Vocational training will be implemented. Entrepreneurship will be implemented in the educational sector. These are some of the things that we are proposing as far as education is concerned. Okay. Good road too. When you look at route leading to our schools today, when during the rainy season and the dry season, our children, they go through hardship to arrive the premises, the school premises. So these are some of the things that us from the Universe Party, that Batodia Keremuna is our candidate, we are proposing for this 2023 presidential election, if given the chance. These are things that we are going to implement in the educational sector. Okay.
Yakubu, the current president, Paul Biya, is seeking for another mandate. Are there measures he is bringing in this time around to make sure that maybe to boost the educational system, or are we already where we are supposed to be?
Yeah, thank you very much for that very important question. We are not yet where we have to be because we need to industrialize our country. Talking about industrialization, many things has been done, and in the primary and secondary sector, you come to realize that a lot of, when we talk about professionalizing our education, a lot of technical colleges, a lot of agricultural colleges, a lot of vocational schools now exist nowadays. What we are now trying to do, and then we are calling upon all the Cameroonians to join our voice so that we should carry it, because the government cannot do everything alone, is to sensitize parents. Because today, when we are saying general education, we should not be teaching who discovered the zero to India or whatsoever. Children, you come to realize that, Mr. Hyson, we have technical colleges, but there are parents who even go back and negotiate for their children and pay 400, 500,000 in secondary schools because general education from one. You see as colleges, even here in Yaoundé, I don't want to take examples where you see from one, they will pay 400, 500,000. Meanwhile, those technical, those technical schools are there, but they are empty. Because in the mentality of some of our parents, they used to believe that, no, when you are intelligent, the one that reads literature, the one that knows the poetry, Julius Caesar, is more intelligent. But when you are foolish or when you are stubborn, they should send you so that you should go and be a carpenter. Are you saying that? Wait, that is what that is.
Are you saying that the parents? Are you saying that?
Please, I will not sit here.
Are you saying that
I will not sit here and listen to Yakubu insult Cameroonians? Please, I will not sit here and listen to Yakubu insult Cameroonians. Are you saying that? I will not accept that. Please,
Lionel, just a minute.
No, Hyson,
just a minute. Just a minute, please. Are you saying that the parents are rather the problem of the educational system?
To an extent, we have technical colleges, we have general education. That is why the technical schools we have today, many of them,
they are not depopulated. They are not equipped.
Depopulated.
They are not equipped.
We know of parents that
they are not equipped.
Mr.
Lionel, I will give you time to talk, please.
We are on a serious platform, please. And when we are talking serious issues to Cameroonians, so that our parents will know that when a child is intelligent, knows Julius Caesar or knows etc., we should rather send that child to go and learn to go and learn electricity, to go and learn. But in many communities, even in my family, when I was younger, we had our brothers that when they were a little bit stubborn in school, they would say, no, you like that, you don't really, you go and learn, you go and be a carpenter at the technical school, because they believe that when you are not so intelligent, it means that those who are intelligent should go to the general education. That is why, as a result, you find yourself with thousands of students in secondary general education and the secondary technical schools being depopulated. That is why what we are doing now is the education. That is why the Ministry of Vocational Training and the Ministry of Youth Affairs have keep on been doing. Secondly,
Yakubu, please, I'm sorry to cut you, but are you saying that at the level of educational policies,
yes,
there is no problem?
That is a problem I'm talking about.
The parents are not the people to set the policies. I'm talking about those who set policies.
The policies are being put in place, and what we now need is for the parents to follow. To follow what is being put in place by the government. Let me take another example. We have agricultural colleges, but how many parents send their children there? We have, even at the level of university levels, we have, for instance, university institutes of technologies, wood technology, agricultural school, but students are not going there. We even had a special program that was put in place by the head of state for agriculture to encourage youths into agriculture. You have a small group, you just create a small group, you go to the Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Youth Affairs, you are being financed with a special trainer. But since they are not, most of the youths are not willing to go into agriculture, they are not willing to go into entrepreneurial skills, entrepreneurship. That is why it keeps on being difficult for not because the educational system has not been put in place. No, even at the level of our university, that is why we are talking about the professionalization of our university system.
So in few words, before I take the mic from you, as you are sitting here backing President Paul Biya, what are you promising Cameroonians as far as the educational sector is concerned?
As far as the educational sector is concerned, the President of the Republic clearly stipulated that the professionalization of our educational system will be will be burdened. That is why at the level of universities, we have seen today our regions has had universities, all the 10 regions. We have 11 state universities today. And at the time, please, I don't like when you people were talking, I was really concentrated, not because that is why when we take the example, people say, oh, we have in 1982 things were better than today. But let's be serious. In 1982 we only had one state university, and today we have 11. In 1982, in terms of secondary schools, we cannot compare in terms of number of secondary school, vocational trainings, and all the other domains. And today, we cannot compare. We have drastically, we have highly improved.
Just a minute.
Yeah. Before I come to you, he wants to just in less than 1 minute before I get to Lionel.
Yes, my brother, please. We have to be frank with this nation, with Cameroonians listening to us. At this point in time, you cannot blame parents when the system of education put in place does not suit our children going to school. You talk of technical education in Cameroon. Go to those technical
depopulated.
Please. I did not disturb when you were talking. Let's be responsible. This Republican debate. Now, for example, there are so many technical schools created, as we have said. No infrastructure on papers.
Please.
Majority of these technical schools we are talking about don't have teachers. Let me quote you an example. Go to Kungi. Go to Akko subdivision. Whether you will see any teacher in any class or you see any school. But on papers, there's a technical school there. Technical schools, where we manage to have technical schools, there is no space, no materials for children to put the theoretical part into practice. You talk of university, professional universities. Are you talking about private professional universities or state professional universities that we have in Cameroon?
Both.
Because if I want to tell you, can you cite one name of a professional state university in Cameroon? You see? Cite one name of a state professional university in Cameroon. You don't know.
Things like polytechnics.
Please stop lying to the people.
Are technical institutions.
The private professional institution we have in Cameroon, the price, the school fees is very exorbitant as a result of high taxes by the regime in place. The reason why we are proposing solutions, not coming here to lie to us. For over 43 years, you people have failed to put in place a professional system of education to help this country to become a developed nation. Today you sit and you tell lies and you blame our poor parents at home who does not even know anything. Majority of them, maybe they don't even know anything as far as education is concerned.
Thank you. Lionel, briefly, please.
I said, when I look at Yakubu, I ask myself how my brothers and sisters from the noon division, they look at him this evening while looking at this program. When you look at all the agricultural schools he cited, let it be Bamili, let it be Bingela, let it be Chang, I will tell you that most of these schools don't know about what is called mechanized agriculture in this particular century. When you go to Bingela was created and pumped with billions, but all the machines that are there are down because of maintenance. They could not keep it. I'm talking of a school that is created less than 10 years ago. When you go to Bambidi, you will never see a student tell you that he knows what a tractor is all about. The same like Chang. When you talk of technical schools, we had the opportunity that Canada gave us 10 equipped technical schools in the 10 regions. That's what they call GTHS Canada, in all the 10 regions. Show me one of the technical schools that still exists, even if it exists, which the machines that they gave us still exist. I had the opportunity to visit two, that of Bameda, which is at Frontier, somewhere at Frontier Street, and that of Yaoundé. I'm telling you, things are down. When you talk of professionalization in schools, how many schools have labs, laboratories that can permit children to touch the theoretical part of what they learn to be capable to implement it? How many schools? Do you need magic to buy some of these tools and equip these schools? When you talk about professionalized universities, you cited Polytech. Good. Polytechnic absorb how many students per year? And how many students are willing? How many students are willing? I want to take even École des Travaux and all those schools. How many do they absorb per year? Because after they are finished recruiting through concours, you will see these private schools having more students than they do.
Okay.
And what baffles me is that after 30 or 43 years, you still come back and try to make people, Cameroonians, believe that the fault is on them, that they are the ones that don't choose the right path. They don't have any other choice than to choose to go to private schools that can satisfy the needs and the wants. And after the satisfaction of the needs and the wants, they look for a way to travel to Canada because they spend a lot on their children, and these children have to work and make them pay back the debts that they had. And if they come to government, how much will you pay them? Will you even recruit them in the first time? Do you know how many of them are engineers that are bike riders? And every eve of 11, and every eve
mobility of labor. If you are not well trained, if you are not well trained,
let him learn. Yago.
Most of those who are trained and who are out are not trained by the state universities. Wonderful. Let me tell you. I'm telling you with facts.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you with facts, and I will tell you that 80% of those who go out with their diplomas from our state schools here, when they go there, they change. You see, I know doctors that are in Canada. I have been to many countries in the world that you meet Cameroonians that left here with the training.
That's medical doctors.
And when they go there, they do something else.
No. Okay. From education.
Yes, let me just say something.
I'm coming to you.
Let me just.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just give. Let me
go on
this problem
before I ask
of
my
education.
question.
There is no way we can talk about education, or you can talk about someone who has been trained. If that person, be it general education, professional, if that person is not able to create something.
Okay.
You see this bottle? You see this bottle?
Yes.
This is a creation of someone. You see this cork? You see the water inside?
Yes.
Yes. That's what we want. That's what Cameroon wants. Those who can create, can invent, they can innovate. You see, look at this. Just look around us. You see, everything here comes from outside.
Yes.
So you mean to tell me that there is nobody in Cameroon who is able, even if he cannot invent, cannot create, cannot even do innovation? Is that what you want to tell me? Or is that what you want to accept it? You want to accept it in your community? There's nobody who is able to create or to invent or do anything, but he has gone to school. That is the school we are talking about. When we talk about this, to relax or to protect that energy. What is the energy we are talking about? The energy of creativity, the energy of to invent, to innovate, to innovate.
Right.
Those are the energy. That's the energy we are talking to. It's not a matter of even the person that goes to a general education. You need to be creative to write your book. You think that everybody can write a book?
Not at all.
Not everybody can write a book. To write let me just say that when. Just take for those technicians, the scriptwriter is everybody can write a script. No, you must be well inspired for you to write a script.
Sure.
So that is the school we are talking of. It's not the one that is existing now.
Okay.
No, that's not the school. We should pass to another level.
Okay.
That's the past. We need now something new. That new we are talking of.
Okay.
That's why we talk about to change the system.
Okay, I
to
believe
introduce something new that will make Cameroon to become more creative, to invent and to like so many other human beings that are elsewhere.
In other countries. Okay, I believe Cameroonians have gotten your vision as far as education is concerned. Let me stay with you. In your analysis before, you said the health sector is also kind of porous. Now, the PCRN is looking for power. What do you intend to offer as far as health?
Let's just start with the community health. Let's start with community health.
Yes.
Our traditional medicine. our tradition. First of all, we will create a whole of traditional medicine in all our hospitals in Cameroon. That's the first thing. We want to valorize our traditional medicine.
Okay.
The first thing. We want to train young men and women who will be able to produce medicine, pharmaceutical drugs, like in India, like in China. When you go to school, when you say you want to do pharmacy, it means at the end of your study, you will be able to produce at least a drug.
Okay.
At least a drug. You should be able to market at least a drug. Those are the things we want to do. Because at the level of the health sector, the mayor and the regional councillor, they will take care of building hospitals, district hospitals, health centers, equip the health centers, train their nurses, employ them. Everything that's at their level, they will do everything. They will need that if you want to get anything formal, that if you get to any formal medical school, you know, at the end of the day, when you are coming out from that school, if you did pharmacy, you must make sure you come out with a drug. If you don't come out with a drug, then you know you still go back to school.
You're not graduate. Okay.
As simple as that.
Okay, thank you so much, Lionel. The health sector.
You know,
what are the solutions you are proposing?
Hyson, we have been clamoring in this country for federation. Federalism will be a solution for many of these domains. Nurses are trained and abandoned in the street. This is a domain where government has to canalize, government has to accompany. But now, just a few years ago, they had to harmonize a national concours for these nurses, and they dispatch them in private schools. But we still ask ourselves, how come some of these people that are trained are still in the street hawking for employment? Are we capable to train our citizens and not be able to employ them? Why train them? And why do we create hospitals and we don't have personnel in these hospitals? For political reasons. At times you will listen on news, 5 p.m. news, they will say this hospital has been created or this health center has been created in this. But when you go there, or when they send a chief of post there, the chief of post will start complaining a few days later. And there's nothing that is being done. Most often, elites are obliged to lobby to the minister in charge of health in order to have some of the facilities or even the personnel. So, we of the SDF, we think as in the domain of education, we have to revalorize this particular sector, make sure that those who are trained are being channeled in such a way that all the medical personnel are under the supervision of the government. With decentralization, it has not been successful, but we think with federalism that we are proposing, each state will be in charge of training its own personnel according to the wants and needs that they have. Okay. And this will permit rationalization in employability of these personnel that have been trained. I think it is clear when you look at how much a doctor earns today in Cameroon and you look at what they earn in neighboring countries, you will realize that people prefer to go and consult in private hospitals because they pay more there. And the same doctor you paid 3,000 in public hospitals will come and consult you for 3 hours because you pay 10,000 in private hospitals. Okay. And you go to public hospitals, at 11 you will not meet any doctor on seat again because all of them, they came in the morning at 9, by 10, 11, they are going to the private hospitals where they work. Why? Because the token that is being given to them by the government doesn't permit them to meet their ends. And we think that when people in domains, in important domains like this work, they have to have a pay package that is according to the job they do.
Okay. Josh, the health sector, you were painting a very bad picture there. Briefly, what do you intend to do about it if you win on October 12th?
Yeah, first, Mr. Liu, we seem to have one political program as far as health sector is concerned. We talk of federation, yes. Federation is a solution. Okay. I earlier talked of our program of sharing 1 billion per subdivision in Cameroon.
Okay.
This will facilitate the creation.
Please, I will give you time to talk, to ask your questions. Yes, go ahead.
You are not the one asking question here.
Go ahead, Mr. Josh, go ahead.
1 billion.
Anyway, what we are talking about is the money that is already setting.
Okay.
Once our presidential candidate is being elected, the money will come into the coffers and will be put into use. Stop distracting me, my brother. Okay, as I was saying, when each subdivision will be empowered with $1 billion francs CFA, they will have been financially empowered to look into the sectors affecting their areas. Not forgetting that health is very vital. It's only a healthy human being that can work. This will facilitate them to look into the hospitals that they need or health centers that they need. That's another thing. Secondly, we will increase fundings every year. The food budget, the budget of the health in the health sector should be increased, so that doctors working in these health sectors should have good salaries in order to do their job without thinking twice.
Okay.
The number of medical personnel in Cameroon should be increased so that patients will not be in the hospital without nurses to attend to, like the case of this regime. There will be more health coverage. When I mean health coverage, means the rural areas, strategic areas, that health center must be created. As of now, there are majority of rural areas in the country without health centers, as I earlier mentioned here.
Okay.
We will also create training facilities, because we improve on the training facilities in place, so that the quality of education, doctors, that's medical personnel in general, acquired will be of standard to avoid medical evacuation. We will also improve on buying the medical equipments suitable in modern communities to avoid huge sum of money we spend every year for medical evacuation.
Okay.
These things will only be implemented if Cameroonians give us the chance come October 12th.
Okay, Jacobo, how do you intend to improve? Because you earlier made mention that we are not where we used to be, medical-wise. How do you intend to improve if given another 7 years mandate?
Yes, we are going to consolidate our move towards the modernization of our health facilities. That is why when you look at this mandate from 2018 to 2025, we have 10 referral hospitals that were be consulted. The one of Betua was inaugurated, the one of Garo inaugurated, Bafusam and ETC, you can name them. And then with this regard, we also have medical centers, health centers, even though not in all villages, but in the majority of villages, the 360 subdivisions that is being consulted, and the personnel are being sent into in order to take this community, take charge of this community. And the decentralization that is being put in place to solve the problem of lack of personnel or inadequate number of personnel in these hospitals. That is why you come to realize that these regional councils would be the one now to recruit, because since our decentralization process is gradual, and then by next year, that is why we are asking for another mandate in order to finalize our decentralization process, whereby the regional councils will now be the one to employ, even at the level of primary schools, at the level to look into issues at the level of secondary school, look into certain issues at the level of these health centers, because when we talk of federalism and then we talked of decentralization, you come to realize that fundamentally it is almost the same thing. That is why I would also like to tell Cameroonians that it is not because you will see people being evacuated that you will think that no. Even in Nigeria, even in the...
please, we are talking of Cameroon.
Please. It is not because you see...
Let us focus on Cameroon.
Yes, even if it is not because you see people being evacuated in the US or in Europe, that it means that our medical... Yes, we have... Cameroon is still a young economy. A young country of, let's say, 60 to 60-something years old. We cannot compare our technical platforms, our medical platform, with that of countries like Canada. With that of, we are a young nation, and then we cannot compare ourselves. We are a less economically developed country. We are still struggling to improve our medical system. We cannot compare it.
And if given another 7 years,
we will consolidate those improvements. And then we cannot compare. We cannot compare with countries like more economically developed countries like maybe, I don't know, China, Great Britain, France, I don't know, the US. That is why at a certain level, we still have illnesses that at a certain level cannot be efficiently treated here. That is why people should not see medical evacuation as if it was. No, it is something normal. Even in France, we know of cases that are being evacuated to other countries, because in other domains, that is how in other domains we have more other countries that are being specialized more than other countries.
Thank you.
Globally, that is what we are planning to do. And then still talking about this health system, please, others, with their three of them, I'm alone here.
Try to learn. No, each and every person here is defending his or her candidate.
You should not. That is why when we look at this same health domain, when we the President of the Republic, Pobia, took this mandate in 2018, you will come to realize that this is one of the sectors where we really had to congratulate them, because we saw the way they managed this COVID-19 pandemic. That was in 2019, 20 to 21. It means that we really have to salute our health sector. We should not only be complaining, even though there is still a lot to be done, but we have to congratulate and really accept what is being done in order to improve them.
Thank you, Yakubu. You are still preaching decentralization.
Yes.
The three are talking about federalism.
Community.
Wait, I'm coming. That is why I want us to look at our audience. He will tell our audience the structure of the federalism they want to implement if they take over power. Lionel will do same, and then you will expatiate on your community federalism, because many are still blank as to what it is. Yes, George.
Yes, I will first of all correct a certain notion about what my brother said here, that
briefly,
decentralization and federation are the same thing. No, they are two.
In practice,
please.
They are two different things. My brother, stop being naive. If you don't know, say you don't know. Okay. The federation we are talking about will not come from us. That's why we said there will be national dialogue. During this national and inclusive dialogue, there will be that chance given to Cameroonians to decide the form of federal system they want. Whether it will be 2-state federation or will be 10-state federation. These are the two that we are proposing. And it will be left for the people during that dialogue to decide which type of federation they want.
Lionel?
Yes, I want to say that one of the 5 axes, which are our major points that we decided to emphasize on immediately we take power, is to reform the institutions. And one of the things will be to organize a referendum where Cameroonians will choose the type of federation they want. By organizing this referendum, it will make things be real. All Cameroonians in the nation, it will be like an election, like it was done in Fumban. All Cameroonians will say, this is the federation we want. If we want a 10-state federation, like the 10 regions are now, or we want a 2-state, which we would not like to emphasize on how the 2 states will look like, which, the options will be left open for these Cameroonians to emphasize or to decide on how and what to be done on the form of the state. Okay. I want to tell my brother Yakubu that even though we are a low-income country, we have a lot of raw and natural resources that will have permitted us in 43 years to be a high-income country. President Aijo used to send food in countries that today you cannot even talk to them from Cameroon. Some countries that are very big cocoa production countries today took their seedlings, cocoa seedlings from Cameroon. Countries which you cited about medical evacuation, I want to tell you that one of the first things that SDF will do will be to stop some of these things, because it costs a lot to Cameroonian. And by doing that, first of all, we have to upgrade the technical plateau that we have in our country that will permit each and every Cameroonian, from the president to the young to the lowest Cameroonian, to have access, and also make sure that we put a social insurance in place for Cameroonians to treat themselves for free. That is one of the things that will permit Cameroonians to have access to good health facilities and good health.
Okay. James, you are insisting on community federalism. In few minutes, tell Cameroonians exactly what community federalism is.
Community federalism is a doctrine that bring community tribes that are divided administratively and economically divided, of which sociologically and anthropologically they have a common link to bring them together, back together.
Okay.
They are divided, they are administratively and economically divided, which they have that sociological and anthropological link. We have to bring them together. So we have to scrape out that distant region and bring 25 regions, autonomous regions.
Okay. From the different communities?
From the different tribes. Yes, from the different tribes.
Okay.
Let me just take for instance, from the West region. All the Bamileke, you know Bamileke, when they say Bamileke?
Yes.
It's a community. Bamileke is a community. It's not a language.
Okay.
Bamileke is not a language. It's a community. Bamun is a language. So in the West region you have two communities, autonomous community, the Bamileke community and the Bamun community.
Two regions, per se.
Good.
Okay.
Two. The southwest and the littoral will become the Sawa region, the Sawa autonomous region, community region. Okay.
there are still two aspects I want us to touch. Yakubu, you and I are witnesses to the fact that unemployment in Cameroon is still a major problem. President Paul Biya is asking for 7 years. What are you proposing this time around to eradicate the high level of unemployment that we have in Cameroon?
What we are proposing is, as we were talking about professional training and vocational training, that is one of the key aspects that will come and reduce the rate of unemployment. Because even though we will facilitate the business environment, that is why when we look at the way Cameroonians, the business environment in which activities are being going on in our community, you come to realize that the business atmosphere is favorable. That is why we have a lot of private companies. We have a lot of, even though some of them are informal, but those are already small companies, small and medium sizes. We only have to support them in order to make them become formal and create more employment. That is the first thing. And when you look at our program, the head of state, President Paul Biya, also have as main aim to render youths and women autonomous, even in political affairs. That is why when you look at the way the CPDM representation is being scheduled, being it in parliament or in municipal, in all the various structures, you come to realize that women are more and more involved as compared to other political parties. You look at maybe a party like the SDF. They have about 5 parliamentarians, 0 women. We have, when we look at the representation,
please, Leone, I will give you time to talk. Yes.
We have other parties that, when we look at the percentage of youths representation, percentage of women representation, and then women are not really having that position. But when we look at appointment done by the head of state, appointments even in our party, you come to realize that one of the fundamental aims of our party is to render women autonomous, make them more women in involve more women in politics and economic activity.
Okay, Josh, in few words, how does Akiremuna intend to solve the cry of unemployment in Cameroon?
Well, first, agricultural sector must be mechanized. We must be able to transform our agricultural products to finished products. This will help employ some of our youth that are unemployed. We need to also revive the textile and timber industry that have been destroyed by the regime in place. Vocational training will be encouraged so that our people should be job creators, not job seekers. Entrepreneurial training also will be encouraged, and digitalization will also be encouraged. This will help reduce the rate of unemployed youth we have in Cameroon. Lastly, corruption that is the main factor activating embezzlement will be dealt with. There will be accountability. There will be declaration of asset before any person occupied a given office. When corruption is reduced, embezzlement will be drastically reduced, and the money will be used in creating more jobs. Tax, which has scared majority of our investors, the tax law will be looked into, and the tax level will be reduced to create a conducive atmosphere for our investors to invest in our nation. Another factor that is very pertinent, the issue of dual nationality. We are going to accept dual nationality. For example, in 2022, remittances sum up to 400 billions. These are money coming from abroad, those who have dual nationality. Imagine if we accept one nationality and make them part of decision making in our nation, they will invest more in our nation. They will bring in also the knowledge acquired abroad to enlighten our youth, and unemployment will be past stories.
Okay.
And the issue of insecurity too. You know, when there's insecurity, especially for example, Anglophone crisis, it's difficult for investors to invest in those areas. And some companies that were existing in those areas are now shut down. Today, CDC is history. You see? But whereas if there is security, if there is peace in that area, the companies that have been existing there will come back and continue their activities, and investors who want to invest in those areas will invest and employ most of our youth. That is why we said we have as one of the most priority that we have when we take office, we will tackle immediately is the Anglophone crisis.
Okay. Lionel, you were itching to talk when Yakubu mentioned the SDF.
I want to tell Yakubu that if today you have parity in the political domain in Cameroon, SDF can boast for advocating for that at the level of parliament for laws to be voted. We can boast for that. And for it to be done, it wasn't easy because the majority at the parliament were men and from CPDM, and they saw their posts in danger. So it was not easy for us to do that, but with the help of some development partners like UN Women and others, we succeeded to reach out to that. And the number of parliamentarians that we have in parliament, be rest assured there's a woman among them.
How many?
There is a woman out of 5 among them. So I just want to let you know that you said there is none. I want to tell you that there is one.
Okay.
From Boyo.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Coming back to unemployment.
Yes.
You know, there are certain factors that permit a country to have a high rate of unemployment. When you look at Mr. Bia's speech on the for the past 7 to 8 years, on the 10th of February, he always gives out a number of jobs created by the state. And when you go into it, you look at, they will calculate the number of motorbikes that have been imported at the seaport of Douala. They will calculate the number of commercial SIM cards that have been bought in these mobile telecommunication network companies. They will calculate some of these things which are not directly done by them, and they put it at the timeline as if it is a job that they created. We of the Social Democratic Front think that the first thing that will reduce drastically the unemployment of young Cameroonians is governance. When there is governance, a lot of things goes on well. And the second thing that we have to do in order to create, to avoid unemployment, is to professionalize education. For people to graduate to create jobs and not to graduate to look for jobs. The other thing that has to be done for those who are already there is to make sure that they are, for those who don't have trainings, because many are looking for jobs but they don't even have some professional trainings, is to make sure that they make available these professional trainings that can help them create jobs or access the job market easily. The other thing is that many people are unemployed because they don't have decent jobs. I said it well. Yes. Decent jobs. And for you to have a decent job, you need to have all the conducive environments for you, an employer, to issue decent, business-friendly environment for investors to normally be free to invest and to be capable to issue out employment to young Cameroonians.
Okay. Mr. James, can you assure Cameroonians that through community federalism, you will tackle the problem of unemployment?
Very, very sure.
Okay.
The first thing we do, all those medium-sized enterprises, company that existed during the time of Ayijo, Sopibel, Belabo, Alukam, the Camp Placage, National Produce Marketing Board, WADA, Medino. I think some of you don't even know about Medino.
I know about
Medino. Our clothes. You don't even know about Medino.
It used to be in my village.
Seminary. We have to reinvest in all those medium-sized things. Because let me tell you, recruitment, you cannot recruit if you don't create enterprise that will recruit those people. It's not the state.
Okay.
You must create companies and enterprise that will do the recruitment.
Okay.
So that's the first action. Revive all those companies that were closed down. We'll revive them. Then create now formal industries in Cameroon. Petroleum industry, mining industry. I say formal because what I just cited was just medium-sized enterprise. Okay. You have small, medium, and formal enterprise. Petroleum, cotton, CDC. Those are agro industries. Mining, we have mining, you have coal. You have, let me just say that you have our old National Produce Marketing Board. All those companies should come back, we'll revive them.
Okay.
Yes. Those are the companies that will carry out massive recruitment.
Okay.
There's no magic on it. Okay. That's the first thing we'll do. Revive all those medium-sized enterprises. There are more than 700 there. There are more than 700. Then you get now, as we are reviving those enterprises, we are creating now formal in big industries and enterprise. That's what we'll do to tackle. Why they may at the local level there will be that massive recruitment of.
Where would the money come from to revive all this?
No. I say, you see, well, there's a story in the Bible where they said when God approved a servant, he will put at his disposal even his enemies.
Okay, it means where there is a will, there will be a way.
Greek gods thought that when they were playing with...
Everybody's talking about Green Corps. Green Corps is only 800 billion.
It's 11, let me tell you.
Okay.
11.
He is the one that makes his research.
He is not the one to manage. He is
won it in London.
Yes.
And how will you follow up?
It's Cameroonian
without passing through Batonia Keremuna?
It's Cameroonian money.
How will you people follow up to have the money?
Let me tell you.
Without Batonia.
Let me tell you. Petrol is a sovereign. Let me put it this way. Yes. Don't say Barrister Keremuna. We have so many lawyers in Cameroon.
We are talking about the case that's
okay.
So
anyway,
don't tell me
that. Let him learn. We don't have much time, please.
So you just go as if it's a call another falling from a tree. You pick.
So you want to tell me that a barrister will stop from where he started? What he started, he will stop.
He will not stop. He will take it.
So let me tell you.
Okay. The program people are counting on us.
So let me tell you.
I understand you are counting on us.
Without that,
to provide the resources.
No, it's not his money.
Okay.
It's not his money, and it will never be his money.
Okay.
The money belongs to Cameroon.
If they ask you the question,
please.
It's nobody's money.
He starts with the case. Will you answer?
Let me tell you something.
Where is the money?
You know the error we used to make it.
Where is the money?
George, please.
And how will people follow up to have that money?
Let me tell you something.
George, please.
Let me remind you.
Take our political
Let
program.
me remind you.
George,
follow your own political program. Stop copying. If you start copying, now that people are not yet at the presidency, how will it look like when people finally, if at all people reach there?
What are we copying?
George, we are wasting time.
What are we copying?
Okay.
What are we copying?
Try to learn.
Let me tell you. Besides Barrister Keremuna, we have lawyers in Cameroon. Let me tell you if you don't.
Okay, beside him, that's good.
Beside we have lawyers.
Beside him.
If he did not do what he did, someone else will have done it.
Thank you so much.
Don't come and say that.
Thank you.
Let me tell you, someone else will do it.
Where were those your lawyers when he was following you?
Don't tell me that. Don't come and tell me.
George, please.
You want to let me to cite
where were your lawyers?
Those who have been lawyers before him.
George, please.
That's not a problem. Where were your lawyers?
Thank you so much, George.
George,
we have to move. Yes.
As I said,
yes.
we have Cameroon we have money in Cameroon. It's just that we have the problem of mismanagement.
Okay.
Embezzlement and mismanagement.
Okay.
Besides even the one of green gold, we have money in Cameroon.
Okay.
If not, how comes that an individual can embezzle to 1, 2, 3 billion?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. We have barely 5 minutes left. Yakubu, the Anglophone crisis has been on since 2016, and President Paul Biya is asking for another mandate. How do you intend, maybe in less than 1 minute, how does President Paul Biya intend at this time around, if given another mandate, to put that problem to rest?
The President of the Republic is intending to continue with the dialogue.
Okay.
And then he's continuing to call our brothers and sisters who become the arms and who are today standing against their own country. The head of state is keep on calling them to come back, and then they will be forgotten. They're forgiven.
Okay.
And then for now, negotiation dialogue is a continuous process. It is taking place every day.
Okay.
Dialogue is not only what we saw here in Yaoundé, where everybody got no. We have commissions that have been put in place, and the dialogue is continuing. Traditional rulers are being involved, religious leaders, even parents, and everyone.
Okay.
Is something concerning everyone is putting hands together in order to bring back peace and stability in all the regions of
Thank you, Josh. In less than 1 minute, please. How does Barrister Kiremuna intend to put an end to the Anglophone crisis?
Yes. For every crisis to come to an end, there is a need for a dialogue. And before there should be a dialogue, there must be pardon. If you don't forgive, you can't dialogue.
Okay.
Because you will be dialoguing, you bring dialogue, and your enemy will sit with a gun because there's no forgiveness. So first, we will liberate all the prisoners in connection with the Anglophone crisis.
Okay.
We have to free them first of all. Okay. And then there will be what we call national forgiveness.
Okay.
And then we set a day aside for national mourning of the military, but the civilians that died. After that, we'll call down for national dialogue, inclusive dialogue.
Okay.
Not dialogue that will have limitations. Not dialogue that will be in disguise of a monologue. Okay. Not a dialogue that the agenda will be limited and restricted. Okay. Dialogue where each and every stakeholder will have the opinion to express his or her grievances.
Okay.
It's only when people must have stated what has been disturbing them that we can solve the problem of this nation.
Okay. Thank you. Lionel? Less than 1 minute, please. We don't have much time.
In our program, we are very clear. In 100 days, as from November 6th, after we... after we swear in, if we 100 days from November 6th, we will stop violence in Northwest and Southwest.
Okay.
This stopping of violence will permit us, first of all, to identify who are the people to discuss with. The second thing we will do will be to release all Anglophone prisoners in connection with the Anglophone crisis who don't have blood on their hands.
Okay.
Not everybody, but those who don't have blood on their hands. And thirdly, we will sit and dialogue. In that dialogue, all the commissions will be set in place.
Okay.
Commissions for reconciliation, commission for reconstruction, commission for setting out new basis of collaboration.
Okay. James?
Well,
briefly,
as you say, yes, we'll bring all the stakeholders on the table, on the board, even the spoilers. We'll not keep aside the spoilers. We'll bring all the stakeholders, even the spoilers, will bring them on the table for a peace agreement to be signed, because that's the first step. If no peace, there's no development. So we'll bring all the stakeholders, even the spoilers, they will will come, go back to the drawing board, then we have a peace agreement. That's the first step. Whether they like it out of Cameroon or in Cameroon, we'll do it. We'll look for a safe environment, a safe place for that should be done.
Okay. In one sentence,
good.
Why should Cameroonians vote Cabral Libi?
Why should Cameroonians? Because
in one sentence, please.
He's the one who has the solution, the solution for the Solution for diversity. A country with cultural diversity must adopt community federalism. Every country in the world with cultural diversity must adopt community federalism.
Lionel, why should Cameroonians look at OC as the man of the moment?
Choosing this ballot on the 12th of October 2025 is rescuing Cameroon from the hands of the crook regime that has been mismanaging our natural resources and that has brought us to this level since 1982. And the only reason that you have to vote for Joshua OC and the SDF on the 12th of October is that the SDF is the most experienced political party in Cameroon that knows all the problems of Cameroon.
Josh, in one sentence, what makes Barrister Kiremuna the best candidate?
My fellow Cameroonians, voting to Barrister Kiremuna come 12th of October is voting for liberation from the hands of the regime that have hijacked the nation and the resources of this nation. It is voting for that particular individual that will put an end to bad governance, will put an crisis and bring in a new republic where you and I will live peacefully without tribalism, without nepotism, without discrimination.
Thank you, and I end with you, Yakubu. After 43 years, why do you think Cameroonians should give Biya another chance come October 12th?
President Paul Biya is the most experienced candidate who can efficiently preserve peace, unity, and stability of our nation. I invite all the CPDM militants and sympathizers, all Cameroonians, to remove their voting cards, to go at the Elecam station, remove their voters card, so that on the 12th of October, they should go and vote for President Paul Biya. They should vote for stability, for peace, and for prosperity of our nation.
Thank you so much,
I said before we leave, we say power to the people. The people have the power.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. It has been a rich moment. I believe Cameroonians have gotten what you have to offer if given the chance on October 12th. It is left for them to decide who has convinced them or who will convince them better as far as this 2 weeks campaign is concerned. Tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. you have electorat as well with Buba Ngomna, who will be taking you through with representatives from different political parties as well. So it is here. We are drawing the curtains of the program as we say, God bless Cameroon.